realize we want to keep our communities safe and get guns out of our communities, not flood them like he and the NRA want to do.
Were you protecting Jennifer's children when you said you wanted to see them die in their mother's arms?
Tonight on DC News Now, the high-profile debate in the race for Virginia's Attorney General, how the controversial text message scandal is shaping this race.
Trending much colder out there overnight tonight and into your Friday morning commute. Just how cold it will get, those details coming up.
A 10th vote fails to reopen the government and no deal to restore funding for the Pentagon. The latest on the shutdown showdown.
Helping hundreds of federal workers living without a paycheck.
It's going to help a lot because, we're struggling to put food on the table.
The local church now handing out grocery gift cards.
Safety concerns at a D.C. elementary school. Allegations of corporal punishment, unwanted sexual contact between staff, and a break-in.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
DC News Now is your local election headquarters. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us for DC News Now at 10. I'm Chris Flanagan.
And I'm Susan Tran. It is debate night for Virginia's Attorney General race, where the Republican incumbent Jason Miyares and Democrat Jay Jones, they are having their one and only face-off. DC News Now's Daniel Hamburg joining us live.
Hey, Daniel, as expected, there was a big focus on those violent text messages Jones sent several years ago.
Absolutely, Chris and Susan. In his opening remarks, Jones said he was ashamed, embarrassed, and is sorry. That, of course, refers to the recently surfaced text he sent in 2022 about former State Speaker of the House Todd Gilbert and his family. Throughout the debate, Miyares repeatedly brought up the text and a reckless driving conviction, but he mainly focused on his track record as Attorney General, bringing violent crime down and lowering drug deaths. On the other hand, Jones focused on Miyares' allegiance to President Trump, a similar connection Democrats across the board are drawing, arguing Miyares hasn't taken Trump to court over federal job losses and tariffs impacting Virginians.
When Donald Trump fires workers, defunds our schools, and levies tariffs that destroy our regional economies, sends armed troops into cities and defunds law enforcement, he has a willing cheerleader here in Jason Miyares who will not step up to sue.
We've had $1.2 billion in recovery and consumer protection. Why? Because standing up for Virginia has always been what I've done, either protecting you from criminal misconduct or corporate misconduct. That's been my mission as the people's protector of Virginia.
We talked with University of Mary Washington political science professor Dr. Stephen Farnsworth. He says this debate was very policy focused and civil, giving voters useful information going into the election.
I do think both candidates were pretty effective in talking about the issues that they wanted to talk about. Jay Jones consistently talked about the Trump administration and tried to convince voters that they should look beyond the texting scandal. The Republicans, in contrast, are very much focused on the text scandal. That was a big issue that has dominated the political conversation in Virginia for 2 weeks, and it looks like we'll be headed into week 3.
Polling from Decision Desk HQ shows Jones and Miyares tied at 46.4%. Farnsworth says he wouldn't be surprised if some Democrats vote for governor and lieutenant governor, but leave the AG race blank on ballots. In the studio, Daniel Hamburg, DC News Now.
Interesting, Daniel, thanks. Meanwhile, another big race in Virginia, that one for governor, of course, and the Democratic nominee gets a major endorsement.
We're talking about former President Barack Obama throwing his support behind Abigail Spanberger. The 44th president putting out 2 ads highlighting Spanberger's congressional record on the economy, voting rights, and access to abortion care. President Obama calling the election one of the most important in the country this year. New polling from our colleagues over at The Hill showing Spanberger leading Republican Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earle-Sears by more than 5 percentage points.
The Earle-Sears campaign responding to the endorsement, saying this is a desperate play from a candidate who's run out of support, out of ideas, and out of time. Voters see right through it, and that's why Winsome Earle-Sears is surging. We should note President Trump has yet to formally endorse Earle-Sears.
Now let's talk about the government shutdown. Senate Democrats voted against the very same GOP-backed temporary funding plan. This is the 10th time.
And they are holding firm to demands from Congress to extend health care benefits. Republicans have made no changes to their legislation and have not picked up any new Democrats since the first vote more than 2 weeks ago. It underscores the severity of the stalemate between the two sides. Senate Republicans also held a vote to fund the Defense Department, but that failed as well.
We can't reopen the entire government, we can at least make some progress toward securing paychecks for our troops.
It's always been unacceptable to Democrats to do the defense bill without other bills that have so many things that are important to the American people in terms of health care, in terms of housing, in terms of safety.
The Senate again taking a long weekend. They're adjourned until Monday. We're going to have continuing coverage of the government shutdown for you on air and online at DCNewsNow.com.
All right, let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Jackie Layer. And chilly right now, but boy, we're looking at actually cold weather tomorrow morning.
Yeah, cold temperatures to kickstart your Friday morning commute. So something, that might shock you as you're stepping out the door tomorrow. If you're not properly, prepared, you got to make sure you got that heavier jacket before you step out. But then you don't need it later on in the afternoon, as we'll see temperatures bouncing back into those middle 60s. And we'll see less wind tomorrow and the sunshine. So at least those 60s will feel quite nice out there. But temperatures out there at this point, we're already seeing those temperatures falling into the 40s for some areas, upper 40s already in Manassas, middle 40s in Winchester, already 40 in Frederick, middle 50s currently in the district. We do have those frost advisories a little bit farther north and west of the district, out towards parts of Loudoun County, Fauquier County, down towards Culpeper, even up towards Hagerstown, Frederick County, Maryland. You're under that frost advisory. Those are all the areas where temperatures could drop into those mid to lower 30s. We could see some frost formation. And farther out towards the west, we're talking about a freeze warning. Western Maryland, parts of the eastern panhandle, even down towards Shenandoah County in Virginia. Those are the areas where we're likely to see those temperatures drop below the freezing mark. And that's those overnight lows you see right there. Woodstock, Luray, even up towards Cumberland, right around the freezing mark there. We're talking middle 40s for the district overnight into tomorrow morning. So again, cold start out there, but then right into the middle 50s by 11 a.m. We're talking about those low to mid 60s out there for tomorrow afternoon. Just a beautiful fall Friday, a little bit below normal, but it's going to feel great out there with the beautiful blue skies. I'll have more details and a look at that weekend warm up coming up.
All right, Jackie, we'll see you then. All new tonight, celebrating the 30th anniversary of the Million Man March. It was a huge gathering of black men in 1995. They marched through D.C. to promote self-help and self-respect.
It also paved the way for even more activism, including the Black Lives Matter movement. An advocacy group marking the day with a Unity and Lighting Up Legacy Lantern Walk and made their way across the 11th Street Bridge, honoring the path of people who fought to end slavery and desegregation. Each lantern holding a commitment to faith, unity, atonement, and community.
When you look in that mirror, you need to know that these people are standing with you. But when you know that they're standing with you, but you also know their stories, that makes it even more powerful. And it makes you very clear that you have to live your life in a way that's going to make you a powerful ancestor as well.
Melanie Douglas went on to say, saying people come out tonight after 30 years shows the importance of community and that anything can be achieved by coming together.
Now in Northern Virginia, the trial for a man accused of orchestrating the murder of his wife and another man is on hold for now. The defense team for Brendan Banfield asked for more time to review evidence. His trial was set to start on Monday. It's now being pushed back until January. Investigators saying that the 40-year-old and the family's live-in nanny plotted to carry out the double murder back in 2023. The two are also accused of having an affair. Banfield is charged with murder, and late last year, child abuse charges were also added. Prosecutors saying that his 4-year-old daughter was home at the time he's accused of stabbing his wife.
In Maryland, the man who killed a Greenbelt teacher will be sentenced tomorrow. Miriam Sia disappeared in July of 2023 while on a walk. Her body was later found dismembered by a pond not far from her home. Sia taught at Dora Kennedy French Immersion School. Harold Landon III was convicted of first-degree murder over the summer. He faces life in prison when sentenced. And in Virginia, the home of a missing Manassas Park mother now up for auction. Police believe Mopta Kafli Bott was killed inside this home by her husband in the summer of 2024. Her body has never been found. Court evidence shows blood found in the home belonged to the 28-year-old woman. In Virginia, the Commonwealth does not require a seller or listing agent to disclose a prior homicide if the buyer doesn't ask. That home has an estimated resale value of $844,000 and is a cash-only sale.
An apartment fire in Maryland leaves nearly a dozen families out of their homes in Prince George's County. The Red Cross is now helping them. The fire tore through the 3-story building there in Laurel late last night with flames that could be seen coming from the balcony.
I was shocked. I was like, I didn't think nothing like that would happen close to home. It's just a tragedy that they had to lose their home just the way they did.
Firefighters also had help from crews in Montgomery and Anne Arundel counties. They're still looking for the cause of the fire. Over in Montgomery County, smoke billowing into the air from this car fire at a parking garage in Bethesda. Firefighters say families who live in the Ellis apartments use the parking structure, but they did not have to evacuate anyone. They're currently venting the space, are continuing to look into what started that fire. The Teacher of the Year in the district is a longtime music educator in Northeast who has been completely caught off guard.
Yeah, what a moment. Take a look here. Christopher Alberts, he had no idea as he sits here on stage for that celebration. He is a music teacher and director of the Performing Arts Department at the School Without Walls. And Albert says, well, he is truly humbled by the honor.
It's worth every struggle. It's worth every late night. It's worth every early morning. There's no more rewarding job on the planet than being an educator. I feel honored. I feel blessed to have such a wonderful environment to teach in and where everybody is really one community.
The Howard University alum is now competing to be named the National Teacher of the Year.
I am the proud principal of the School Without Walls High School.
Yeah, the School Without Walls, what a morning for them. Also named the #1 high school in Washington, D.C. That according to a report by U.S. News and World Report. According to the D.C. school report card, nearly all students met or exceeded expectations in English, and more than 90% did so in math.
I believe that the success of our school is a reflection of the dedication, hard work, and sacrifice of everyone at School Without Walls.
We're serious about public education in Washington, D.C., and we have the receipts.
They are awfully impressive. Almost all seniors graduated within 4 years, with nearly every 12th grader enrolled in an AP or dual enrollment course.
That is impressive. Congratulations to them.